All right, welcome to the Performance Zone. Here we go for actually my first time ever trying to get a keg overhead. So a little bit of a keg work day. In this first clip, you can see obviously I know how to pick a keg. This is the Bartos, MikeBartos Power Keg. Beautiful thing. It's 150 empty, so obviously getting it up into this position here and picking it off the ground is pretty simple. I'm just trying to, carefully think about my positioning and how to pick. I've seen people do it before, but I hadn't actually ever got any cues. I just kind of went into this like totally mentally raw, not knowing what to do, and I was like, I'll figure it out, and that's probably gonna be close to the mark. That's a lot of what strongman stuff is. I find like you just do what you think you should do and what your body does naturally without thinking when you go to execute something, and you're pretty close to the mark of what you need to do anyway. So yeah. Also just helps feel it out, helps the learning curve. Don't stick with it too much and create bad patterns. But yeah, that works. There, I was kind of trying to shoulder it. I don't know what I'm doing. I got no idea, no good answer for you there. And after this session, after the keg work, we'll do some other stuff, some bag to shoulder and some accessories. Relatively higher volume, I will say that overall for sets and just a lot of exercises, because this was after a few days off and before taking a few days off again to study for exams and just life and stuff. So yeah, there was kind of a few things crammed into one session because I was very well rested and was going to be resting for a while after. Here you can see a bit of a yapping break. I left it recording here because I was like, you know what, I'll just take a breather and then come back, not a true rest, and I'll just try again as I do, without really thinking about anything too much. And then if it didn't work this second time, I was going to try to check out some cueing. So I'm probably talking to the beauty over there, just joking around, probably giving him a shit about the bar jack or something. Maybe I'm saying how the keg sucks because it's awkward, but if I knew how to do it, I'd probably be like, oh man, the keg's the best thing ever. It's awesome. I love it. So then, looks like I'm coming back over to the keg now. Oh yeah, AirPod goes in, we're locked in. Here we go. Walk it over, get it back. Big air, pick. Hand position's correct there. Do I keep it? Sort of. I am squatting too deep to lap it, but I'm just trying to get comfortable. Get it up. There we go. Obviously, neither one of my wrists are stacked properly. I'm not sure what's going on here now. This is horrible. Oh, it's going. Oh, give it a bit of a push. Oh, and then I somehow get it overhead and then just do the slowest tricep extension ever to lock it out because, it's very unstable up there because none of that was correct. And I knew that, but I was like, all right, there, I got it overhead. I'm one step closer. I think after this now we have a few clips of me having a bit more of an idea, still treating it more like a log as opposed to, see what I do here. So I probably do squat too deep and lapping it, and then I get it up, keep it there, and then press it okay. Okay, I didn't lock that out, not sure what happened there. You can always use more tricep, that's just evidence right there. But yeah, maybe here I do it, I think. Yeah, again, still very unstable, and I'm treating it like a log as opposed to kind of twisting it as I roll it up and to get it on my shoulder and then try to lock it out over the shoulder. I think this one was a lot better just from intent and effort and intensity, but still incorrect, and that's still only about 150, 155 empty, the MikeBartos Power Keg. I could probably Viper this off the ground if I really, really wanted to. But 150 is nowhere near a heavier weight in a medley or any kind of overhead event. So, yeah, keg is an absolute tank too. I'm not sure from these shots what you can tell, but sometimes I would drop it and there's some sort of crash pads there just to protect the turf, but it might bounce into the deadlift platform or roll around on the turf. and a few of those hits it took were pretty hard, and I was just impressed with. I know MikeBartos stuff is really good and durable, and it is absolutely amazing. But yeah, I was pretty impressed. So again, there you can see a purposeful step through, dancing around with the feet. Maybe I could have jumped more, but again, none of this is really textbook correct keg work. So yeah, I was more just feeling it out, see what I can do, and see how it feels, as opposed to really trying to dial in technique. That was for the next session. Um, yeah, what do I do here? Oh, that was probably the best one. But again, I'm treating it like a log. I'm not getting it more to a shoulder side and then, you know, like push down one hand, pull, or push up one hand, pull down the other one, and rotate it to your shoulder, and then try to press out with it kind of on your side. Um, yeah, I guess I was going for a second one here. I don't think it worked out. Positioning there is okay, and then it's not, and yeah. There I am. The thing came loose a bit, so I'm just tightening it as it's empty. It can't come off. You need the key for that, but yeah, it might move around a bit as it presses against the sides when you tighten it. So with it getting used, it might come a bit loose. Oh, and God knows what's happening here. Oh, okay, yeah, so that's just a technique, stability, and positioning thing, because clearly I have the strength. I'm doing a slow, not very focused tricep extension to lock it out once I have it balanced. Yeah, again, like I knew this was pretty incorrect, and again, that's also why I kept it at 150. It was just feeling out a keg overhead, getting comfortable with picking it and getting it up there, and then I would have somewhere to go from for my next day to dial in the technique of properly getting it to my shoulder and putting it overhead. Here we have some bag to shoulders just for a bit of fun. After that, a little bit of practice. Definitely not the best or the fastest, and this is only a 200-pound bag. It's Wolf Tactical. They sell them on Amazon. I don't know where Fortis West got them. That's the gym that. Yeah, I think it's filled to 200. Like, I have a 200-pound rogue bag that's absolutely bursting at the seams. It's probably more like 220 or at least 210. Yeah, okay, so that wasn't perfect. My elbow was a bit low. Not the greatest rep. Here, slow pick, probably could have been more aggressive with squeezing my hands around it. Not sure what I'm doing with my hands there, sat down too much. And then, let's see, that was okay for getting it up, and my elbow's higher in there. That was an okay rep, but being a bit faster and aggressive would have been better. And then I think this was the last one. I think I only did 3, and it was just to kind of get a bit of overall practice with lapping something. Then here we have a strict press. This is the Elite FTS 70 or 75 pound fat bar. So it's like an axle, but it's 70 or 75 pounds, and it has a little bit of knurling. So yeah, this was, I think, I'm not sure, whatever. So 75 plus 25 plus a 10 and 5. I don't know if it's 70 or 75. That was a single of strict press. And then these are 3x5 back downs of just, I guess this is 125 or 120. Yeah, just for a bit of work. I haven't done any strict pressing or axle press in a very long time, so it was more just to kind of get used to that. And because evident with the keg, I could use, quite a bit of overall overhead work and support for that position. I do love this Elite FTS fat bar, mainly just because not even the knurling isn't too strong, and I don't find it makes that much of a difference being an axle. But it being 70 or 75 pounds makes a lot of difference for loading up weight, provided you're not an absolute beginner. It just is nicer on things like pressing, benching, especially deadlifting. It's like throwing on a red as opposed to throwing on a blue. Yeah, then here we have some incline dumbbell, which I haven't done in a very long time, so I'm pretty shaky, pretty unstable, just trying to hold a big brace and keep everything tight, especially after the keg and then the shouldering bag and then the strict press. Overall kind of fatigued, and I've done some pressing and stuff, so yeah. I think these are 80 or 75 pound dumbbells. Okay, dumbbells. It's a power body adjustable bench, really solid bench, no complaints. Way better than what you'll get at like an LA Fitness or Good Life. That's going to be like a Life Fitness brand or something. Yeah, I don't really care about my elbow position. I wasn't doing neutral. I'm not trying to keep them in too close or wide. I'm just kind of pressing, it's causing the fibers of my chest and shoulders all around to pull and fire, and that's all I wanted. So yeah, that was wherever they went. That was good. Then here we have some tricep work. I put my legs up to stop me from accidentally arching too much. I don't retract and arch like say you would on a bench, because you want to cheat with your chest as little as possible, even accidentally. So yeah, I find putting my legs up can help keep my back flat on the bench. I don't know, these aren't rolling extensions by any means, even if I cheat a bit later on. When I'm flat benching a lot and trying to get my bench up, I do love heavy rolling extensions. Yeah, and it's not like a JM press. You could call these skulls, you could just call them dumbbell tricep extensions, I'm not sure. Yeah, and then here we have the hand mold rope, where the focus is to really press down hard and twist for at least, the first, I think this was a set of 10 or 12, at least the first 8 I want to have a good twist on, but then I can crank out a couple more after, and I'm just focusing on, pushing down hard and aggressively and really getting that pop. So I did the dumbbell skulls, which are the same as, like, say, any kind of skull or overhead extension, even maybe a JM press. And then here, this is more like, a push down. It's like a dip. And the hand mold is like a rope. It just fits your hands a lot nicer and it's easier to grip. They're a newer thing. And then here we have the most optimal rows known to man. So those are Prime. They might be knockoff Prime. I think they're legit handles though. Hooked onto the Fortis Fitness Power Body Custom Row, which is really nice, but I don't love the handles. And then the middle ones don't have hockey tape on them, and for the strength curve, because of physics and everything, it comes down a bit at the back, and then if you put it, say you're forward, it won't, you won't get a big stretch, and then it kind of comes down too soon at the end of the rep. But I find if you put the chest pad all the way out to extend it to the max, and then whether you're standing or seated, you hook a handle onto those hooks to where you can still get the full stretch at the end because you're far enough back, you have a much better path of travel for your handles, and then where your elbow is actually going for whatever area of the lats you want to target. This is kind of mimicking a classic like hammer strength or whatever mid row, as opposed to like a low row or high row, where I'm getting a lot of lats and traps, not too much rear delta rhomboidism, keeping my elbows in and down to the side. Yeah, I absolutely love this row setup with these handles. I don't like it otherwise, but with these handles, it is perfect, especially because of how the strength curve is then set up. When you put the handles on, it becomes perfect for a plate loaded thing. It works very well. This machine also has band attachment pegs on it. So yeah, that's something I could utilize in the future to try to work with the strength curve if I want. Great row in this circumstance. So yeah, that's been a relatively high volume accessory and KEG work practice session. More videos from the performance zone to come in the future. Thanks for watching. See you guys soon.